I guess third time with Benson, but totally different sport. So I guess we see the marks on your face, but how you feeling?
Man, he brought it, bro. He came to fight. I got to give all props to Ben. I wasn't expecting that tough of a fight. I think he really wanted to win, and he showed out there, bro. He came hard.
How's boxing? Because obviously a lot of people he's Bendo, smooth Benson, black belt.
Yeah, man, he came with the hands, bro. It was definitely a different pace. You know, in boxing, it's more of a rhythm thing. He just came with the big bombs. So, you know, I should have backpedaled more. It was a lot more slippery in there than I expected, honestly. Like, I couldn't catch my footing. And I tried to jump off the wall a little bit, but it was just really slippery. So once he started throwing them bombs, I knew I just had to dig my feet down and start, you know, using my head movement. Yeah, he caught me with some good stuff, though.
Going off of that, how was it fighting in the pit? Because a lot of us here that cover MMA, we haven't really watched this. You haven't experienced fighting there. So what was it like fighting?
Totally different. It's a totally different pace. You know, like you're not worried about the takedowns. I wanted to be a little more flashy in there. Like I said, it felt like an ice ring in there. Like once my feet got like dry, I couldn't even hold my foot in. So I got to figure that part out. Like,
what was it like fighting in pants?
I mean, I grew up fighting in pants my whole career. You know, before my MMA. So it reminded me of my old school days, man. Like my taekwondo tournament days, basically.
And what did you make of like at the end when they go one more round? Because like we're not used to that in MMA. You might not like need a second other round, but they just add there.
That was dope. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I asked my coach, I'm like, did we win that? He's like, yeah, we got it. And then they're like, one more round. Mentally, I was like, all right, shit, we gotta go again. And he came hard the first minute, and then I found my rhythm, I found my pace, started picking them apart with the jabs, and like, I think just my inside boxing games will won that.
So you were confident you had pulled it off at the end?
I didn't know, bro, honestly. Like, I was so new to me. Like, either fans screaming, like, one more round, like, all that shit was all new to me. So, I mean, I'm a competitor. I mean, I knew I had to, like, bite down on my mouthpiece and go. But he was bringing it, man.
He was obviously visibly upset there, you know, 0-3 against you. So,
yeah.
You know, we saw you guys hugging there. What did you tell him that you kind of gone through it?
All forever respect, bro. Like, that dude's a competitor. I mean, we had so much history together. You know, now it's our third fight, a totally different rule set. And honestly, he did better in this rule set than he did in MMA, honestly. Like, I was expecting an easier fight.
And obviously, you have PFL, you've done the boxing, now you're doing karate combat. So what's next for you? You going to stick with this? You're going to go back to MMA?
I'll definitely do another one of these. I feel like I didn't get to show my full skill set in there. But I got a boxing fight set up February. So February I'm boxing, and that's what we're getting ready for.
Against who?
I can't announce it yet.
Is it a big name?
Big name.
All right. Which promotion, can I ask?
Can't even say that yet.
All right.
Pettis, on that note, Raymond Daniels said, hey, you know, these guys are new, but this is my house. Is that a fight that interests you here?
Man, for sure. I already talked about Raymond Daniels. Like, that's one of those guys. I grew up watching him in the point sparring circuit. Like, when I was coming up point sparring, he was the man. So I think that'll be a fun one. I got to figure out why it was so slippery in there before I could actually, like, say I'll fight a guy like Raymond. Like, I was slipping around way too much in there for me to actually be like, to fight a guy that quick and that fast.
We know Benson's motivation obviously doesn't want to go 0-3. For yourself, though, I mean, get up and train and everything again for a guy that you already have that 2-0 against. How was that motivation in and out during camp?
I got to give shout outs to my coach right here, Jorge Capatillo, bro. He holds me accountable. You know, when I don't want to show up to practice, he's calling me, he's texting me, where you at? You know, I'm a busy man, dude. I run my own APFC show. I got a management company, and you know, I'm still fighting. So I think Jorge keeps me accountable. Obviously, Duke Rufus. We know how to beat Ben for a long time. That's why we beat him in MMA. But the motivation just comes from I'm a prize fighter, bro. Like they offered a prize. I got a nice check to be here, and we won.
Let's be real. Your WEC UFC career went amazing. Post UFC, though, I mean, you're one of those poster guys like with Mike Perry, just that freedom and making the most out of it. For yourself, how do you describe what you've been able to do, having that freedom outside the big organization?
I mean, I grew up in the UFC, bro. Like, they give me I still do business with the UFC. So, like, without the UFC, there wouldn't be no Showtime Pettis, and I recognize that. But I think once you make your name and you make something for yourself, you can go capitalize outside of these organizations, and that's what I'm doing, man. I'm making money everywhere. You know, my checks are cashing from karate combat, from boxing, from still MMA. I'll probably fight PFL again, so I'm doing well.
And I guess, where do you think a lot of fighters go wrong in that process, right? Because I think you and the UFC didn't have some massive falling out. You didn't have to lose 8 fights in a row. You left seemingly at a good time for everybody involved. You've done great. You guys are on good terms. You're doing great things with your promotion. So where do you think a lot of fighters maybe are misled or have a misconception about what they should do?
I don't know. I think, you know, I never really burned any bridges. That's a big thing for me. You know, like I've done business. I do business with the UFC right now with my fight show. I'm doing business for Karate Combat. I still have a contract with PFL, and I'm boxing. So, like, I feel like I didn't burn any bridges. I think some guys stay too long. You know, they wait till their career's a little too done. Like I left when I was 33. You know, I was still young. I could have still compete with these guys. I feel like, but I just knew where I was at in my career. I fought so many guys at 155, 170, and I wanted something new, and that's what I did.
So is your focus right now, you mentioned how you're still with PFL, is it more on the boxing and the karate combat at this point, or do you think that MMA can just be, thrown in the mix?
I'm not going to do a tournament anymore. That's the big thing for MMA. Like when I did PFL tournament, that's not where I'm at in my career. It made me look way worse than I really was. I had to fight injured. I was making weight 5 weeks apart. So their pay-per-view format is what I'm interested in. If they do these pay-per-view cards, I can fight twice a year on my terms. That's something I'll definitely consider. No more tournaments for me. Karate combat was fun. So we'll see what happens after that. Some big names in karate combat. But I think I'm really going to focus on boxing for the next couple months.
Yeah, and have you thought about, obviously, the Bellator acquisition? Probably provides maybe a new landscape for you. When you think about what kind of big fights could be put on the pay-per-view series for PFL, is there any names or anybody that you've seen?
Cedric Doumbe, bro, and he's not even with Bellator, but a guy like that gets me excited, bro. Like, I know how good he is. I've seen his kickboxing career. Like, I would have to train my ass off to fight that guy. So I feel like those are the kind of fights I want. I don't want these, not talking shit, but no-name guys that would have never fought me in the UFC. All of a sudden, I'm fighting him in the PFL tournament. Like, I wasn't excited for that, and it showed in my fights. My performances weren't how I usually perform. Even Ben, man, Ben came to fight today, bro. Like I wasn't expecting a war like that tonight, but it is what it is, man. Like this martial arts is crazy.
You fight Doumbe in Paris?
I'll fight Doumbe in his backyard, bro. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime.
How about Michael Venom Page?
That'd be a fun fight. Michael Venom Page would be another fun fight. Man, they had a bunch of 55ers. I don't know if I want to go back to 55. It'd have to be the right matchup. But man, there's somebody good. The world of martial arts for me right now is fun, and I'm excited to be where I'm at.
And the last one for me: is there anyone that you fought in your career that you would like to rematch here? Like you gave Ben the rematch.
Yeah.
Because you were 2-0 against him. Is there anyone that has the upper hand on you?
Tony Ferguson, even though he's coming off losses, I feel like that fight we had, bro, that was a fun ass fight. I thought I should have won that fight. It broke my fucking hand. He's fighting tomorrow night, so hopefully he gets that dub. But that's Tony Ferguson will be one. Rafael Dos Anjos, all the guys I lost to, basically, bro. Like there's some of them guys I knew I was better than. I just wrong fight, wrong time.
Anthony, in all honesty, do you even miss grappling?
I do actually, yeah. I do miss grappling, yeah. I love grappling, bro. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm a black belt in taekwondo, black belt in Rufus Sport kickboxing. I feel like I'm the most well-rounded martial artist right now there is. Besides Francis Ngannou. That guy went out there and boxed the heavyweight champion and looked amazing. But I feel like well-roundedness, I'm one of the best.